After an explosive opening night at WrestleMania 41, WWE returned to Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas for a night 2 with a card headlined by John Cena vs Cody Rhodes for the Undisputed Championship. Did Cena strike gold in his final appearance at the grandest stage of them all, or did Rhodes retain? As well as much more on the card. And we started things off with a triple threat for the Women's World Championship. Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair underestimated the Sky entering WrestleMania during the opening match of Sunday's show, and the result was a successful title defense for the Women's World Champ. Later in the match, Belair uncorked a vicious whip with her braid to Ripley and followed with a kiss of death. Sky took advantage of the two, focusing on each other, and launched herself over the top with an over-the-top moonsault for the win. An extraordinary contest, the second truly great triple threat match on this two-night card. For the invented spot to a dramatic near-falls, a running narrative of Ripley versus Belair to Sky's vindication. This is pure gold and easy one of the best women's matches on this stage. This gets a 9 out of 10 for me. For me, this probably stole night 2 right from the start. I was surprised by Sky retaining, but I thought, great win for her, and Belair and Ripley also looking very good coming out of this. Before we got the Sin City street fight between Priest and McIntyre. McIntyre avenging a year of defeats and shortcomings of Damian Priest by defeating him in a physical, violent street fight. Both men brutalised each other, utilising steel chairs, ring sets and more. The Scot tweeted, shoved Priest off the top ropes and through 2 tables and finished him with a Claymore into a steel chair set up in the corner. Another action-packed match at the top of Sunday's show. It appropriately conveyed the hatred between the competitors without taking things too far in the realm of violence. It worked, the crowd appreciated it, and we had a second great match, which is something Saturday never really quite strung along. So on the whole, this was great. Gets 7 out of 10 from me. We then got the Fatal 4-Way for the Intercontinental Championship match. Mysterio won his first IC title, defeating Judgment Day teammate Finn Balor, Penta and Braun Breaker in a Fatal 4-Way. From the third and straight contest, fans were threatened to an action-packed match devoid of rest spots. Breaker showed up, tossing his opponents around the ring with reckless abandon, while Penta shined, and the tension between Balor and Mysterio fueled the match's narrative. Ultimately, it's Judgment Day teammates who define the closing moments. After an enormous spear from Breaker to Carlito through an announce table and Balor's coup de grace to the champ, Mysterio slays an opening and produces a big cross match. Seconds later, he pinned Balor and won the title, drawing a surprisingly large pop from the fans. The match exceeded expectations and was a ton of fun, a demolition derby of sorts that kept the spotlight on Breaker while crowning a new champion in a manner that would propel one of the longest running WWE storylines. Another successful night that needed several of them after a so-so start on Saturday night. So this gets 7 out of 10 from me. Randy Orton's Open Challenger was next, and TNA World Champion Joe Hendry answered it to a massive prop, but he probably wishes he didn't. Despite an enormous evasion and some fun antics early on, the match went as expected. A few minutes long, it ended with an RKO and an Orton win. There was nothing to this outside of a special appearance by a beloved competitor and a predicted Orton victory that should set him up for a Backlash main event in his hometown. While TNA officials may look on as an opportunity for their world champion to be featured on WrestleMania, and Hendry likely dreamed of this day it would occur, somewhat surprising the company with greenlight its top star being beaten in mere minutes on worldwide television. Then again, it would never have been possible in years past. So I'm going to give it 5 out of 10 for the match itself, but for everything that surrounded it, seeing Hendry get this moment, I thought this was great and gets a 5 out of 10. But moving on into AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. Styles refused to revert to his evil ways, and it cost him his match with Logan Paul. Late in Sunday's contest, Paul's managers Jeff Levin attempted to sneak a pair of brass knucks, but Karrion Kross emerged from nowhere to stop him and implored Styles to embrace the dark side and utilise them. The veteran refused and rock cross before attempting a phenomenal forearm. Paul dodged it, rocked him with the right hand and delivered the pulverizer for the pinfall victory. The match was fine, but didn't do anything to reverse any conversation about Styles' rather pedestrian WrestleMania reel. Paul was strong here, but the chemistry between him and his opponents weren't quite matching. I would say the outcome likely continues to be the blossoming of a rivalry between Styles and Cross, which should be more beneficial for both men. So I'll go with 5 out of 10. The man then came around once again as Becky Lynch returned to partner with Lyra Valkyria. The future Hall of Famer revenged her losses with Morgan from last year by defeating her and Raquel Rodriguez to capture the Women's Tag Team Championships. The match was a solid tag match affair that saw Valkyria take the most of the beating before Lynch made the hot tag, unloading on the champions, leading to the manhandle slam to Morgan that secured the victory. Lynch is a beloved star and was rightfully cheered on for a comeback. There's a real argument to be made that nothing about this match did anything except for her. Valkyria hardly shined. The recipient of the heat swap was champions while tackling Buddy for Lynch in the closing moments. The man had a triumphant return in the adulation of the crowd. It was also awful for Bayley, who was yanked away. May it eventually be revealed Lynch was caught behind Bayley's attack? If so, it could be intriguing, but it feels like we've just had that with Jade. I think it's still a nice moment, a big pop and everything, so I'll give it a 6 out of 10, but maybe it could have been booked slightly better. And in our main event, it was John Cena who became a world champion for the 17th time, defeating Cody Rhodes in the main event of Wrestle 41 and eclipsing the record he jointly held with Ric Flair. The historic win came moments after the American Nightmare laid waste to the rapper Travis Scott with Cody Rhodes. Cena, taking advantage of down ref Chad Patton, looked at his rival with a championship belt, but Rhodes took it from him. However, the American Nightmare couldn't find his inner villain to strike the veteran with it. Instead, Cena hit Rhodes with a low blow before using the title belt to strike his rival and claim the record-breaking 17th title. Cole hammered home the story of Rhodes not winning do what was necessary to be the champion and thus losing. It was a perfectly fine concept, but we also saw that 2-mile match to go with Styles and Paul. While this was a fine enough main event, it descended into a convoluted mess with the arrival of Travis Scott and his shenanigans followed. There's no Rock, which fans invested in Cena's story and were waiting to see. So yeah, that was a shame, and the clunky finish really put a dampener on what could have been a great match. So yeah, obviously it was a historic moment and, you know, a fun match, but I just felt like WWE kind of promised more with this match, which they just didn't really deliver here. So yeah, it wasn't bad or anything, but on the whole, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. And on the whole, I'm giving WrestleMania 41 Night 2 a 6 out of 10. Yeah, I thought they started off really hot. The first few matches were great, and then, I don't know, maybe in the second half of the show, to me, it just felt like it tailed off a bit and dropped off a bit, which was a bit of a shame considering some of the great action we got in the first bit. But I thought the booking here was, some of it was questionable, and some really fun matches. Cena winning was obviously probably the right decision, but yeah, I thought on the whole, maybe a mixed show, 6 out of 10. For this video, thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily wrestling news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.